So something I want to talk about for a little bit is recording, digital recording, filming. And how we always hear, well, with all the technology coming out, shouldn't there be better footage? All this technology, everyone has a phone in their hand that has a camera on it. And on paper that seems quite accurate. Why is it still blurry? But when you start looking at the technicalities of it and how to operate a camera, let alone the specs of a camera, then you start realizing right away why you always see blurry video. I mean, just take the camera I'm using right now. It's a Sony PXW Z90V. Top of the line for a small compact camera that can really actually rival the bigger cameras that are out there. And, so far Sony and Canon have come out with this type of camera that, believe it or not, and this may mean nothing to a lot of people, but the autofocus rivals manual focus. So within the world of, videography, automatic focus is just something you never use because you can't rely on it. But with these new type of camera systems, these professionals are actually starting to use automatic focus for many of their activities, which is unheard of. So let that sink in for a moment. Most of the time to get good footage, you have to use manual focus. And only now are they coming up with technology that rivals manual focus. And when you try to get a video of something moving through the woods quickly, the first thing the device or camera is going to focus on, because it's not most likely going to be on autofocus, is going to be what's ever in front of it. So the brush, the trees, whatever. So you're not going to get a good video of it. It's going to be blurry. It's hard to expect anything less when you know the basics about camera technology and how it works. And then on top of that, the sensors are normally on camera phones. And so the sensor's small. And so you can only get so much data from it. Okay? So when you try to zoom in on something that's far away, that's already blurry, and even if it's not blurry but far away, you're going to lose so much data. It's going to get pixelated the closer you get, that it's, again, going to look blurry or pixelated in this case. I mean, so let's use some examples. I've tried to record using this camera that, like I just stated previously, works really well for autofocusing. Just, you can go look it up. But yet, I try to record my girlfriend through the brush in the same area where we encounter and have interactions with these hominids, and you can see right away how blurry it is with a camera that is a professional camera. It's a professional camera in many uses, especially like outdoor documentary type video. It has a huge 1-inch sensor on it and top of the line autofocusing. So you can see her, like, how she's just blurry. I have to jump to manual focus to get it. And even then, unless like you're a pro at manual focusing it through brush to get your object behind you, is going to take time, be difficult. I even have peeking on to help me, and it still took me, several seconds to get it, which within that time, the target's moving away or forward. It's going to be hard to keep focusing properly. And then another one, a Tom, we had a huge, like, what do they call it? Like a hurricane blizzard here. We had 100-mile-an-hour winds, and a friend and I, we went up into the mountains and just went running around to work out. We do that a lot. Like, it gives, the landscape character. But I try to do it again in the brush and trees, and like, it's, you don't get, like, the shot's not there if you only have a few seconds, emulating this. Now, but here's a real example. So in this next clip, like I was at this beaver pond and I was making natural quarters out of yucca, and I was trying to fish for trout using a gore hook. And gorge? Anyway. And I also had it set up so that if the beaver came out, I would be able to just move over, put the tripod down, and I even think I had the Ronin S attached to it. So I had like a gimbal, a nice gimbal, so I could even hold it and keep it stable if I needed to. But yeah, I was trying to do both, because waiting for a fish to bite was a good way to be patient and wait and maybe see the beaver to get it on footage. Now, as I was doing this, I hear a splash in the water, and basically the beaver pond's on one, like on the other side, like this bush. It's right next to me, but there's this bush and like this tree in the way, and I'm a little further up the creek. So all I have to do is go around this bush, and I sneak around this bush, and I put the tripod down, and I'm looking in the water. And I can't see anything. And my rig's set up for that. And then I look up across the pond, and this pond isn't that big, and there's this blonde bear. This blonde bear just staring at me, and I'm just like, oh, dang. Like that's not a beaver at all. It was a bear coming through looking for food, flipping rocks over into the creek. And so here I am now, with this professional rig, great gimbal, yeah, like trying to get footage. I had it set up so it was looking down, it was low to the ground, but now I have to get it up higher to get over the brush to zoom in, and I'm hoping the autofocus will work. Obviously, even autofocus being this great on this camera, top of the line, it's still like when it comes to objects in front of you like that, so dense, like brush and trees, yeah, it's still manual focus trumps it. So here I am now trying to hold it because I have to go up higher, and I don't have much time. Like I probably had it tops 30 seconds, which is a long time, right? In like when a lot's going on, but when you want to get good footage and you're not ready, it's a very short time. So here I am trying to get it up and zoom in, and then obviously I realize I have to switch to manual focus. I put the manual focus and I zoom in, and my peaking's too high, so everything's peaking, and so I'm having trouble focusing on this bear. And so when you look at the footage, you can actually see me like wobbling, and I'm wobbling even like with the gimbal on, because I'm moving around trying to focus and zoom in on this bear. And the footage looks bad. The footage looks blurry, and that's with an awesome camera, and me not being ready. Sure, like if I had more skill sets and I better practice with manual focusing, I probably could have gotten a better shot. But who's going to do that? Who's like your average Joe just walking through the forest with a camera phone? They don't know that. And even if they did, the capabilities is only as far as their camera on their phone will go. And that's just going to focus on the first thing in front of them. And the sensor's small, so it's not going to pick up a bunch of data. So you can't like zoom in on it later to really see details. So the reason we see blurry pictures all the time is because of the devices that, one, are being used, and two, because it's a skill set. Like it takes a mastery of this technology and understanding basic principles in order to get good shots. Same with photography. So it's not crazy, and I think you can see from these examples as to why it's hard to get a good shot of an elusive animal, let alone some creature like Bigfoot. So just something to consider and think about when someone brings up the one of the things that counts against this hominid species is that all we get is blurry video and pictures. Because when it comes down to it, it's a skill set that not only requires knowing the technology, but also having a good enough technology to get a good shot. And even when you have both of those, it's still hard to get a good shot. Just look at how hard they have to try to get elusive animals in the wild. And that's with top-of-the-line gear, like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars more expensive than this, tens of thousands of dollars. And they struggle with that too. That's why it takes them years or more, just to get the perfect shot. So there's a reason why we have so much blurry video and pictures of this elusive creature, because it's hard. It's not easy, and it is not a good rebuttal. So when someone comes to you as as a rebuttal, it's a poor rebuttal, because when you look into the mechanics and technical side of it, it's a very easy and explainable reason as to why there's not great footage of this hominid species from your average person just working, like a regular camera phone, or just a regular camera, like it, you know. So hopefully that helps and illuminates some people on on just video photography and the wild, and trying to get it in difficult environments where there's all kinds of objects in front of you that make it difficult to get a good shot, and the technology has to be good enough that you're able to get a bunch of data in, so you can zoom in on it and look at it. Well, anyway, thanks. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope this was educational to some degree and gave some perspective on the matter, and that you will join me next time, and like and subscribe. Thanks. Till next time.